Every home has its strengths and weaknesses, and that means that you need a different strategy for each one whenever you are trying to sell. There are some common strategies that realtors use often and you can implement to sell your home successfully. Let's go over those strategies. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Victor with How to Sell Your Home, and we make videos every week about just that, how to sell your home. We want to equip people who are considering selling and making sure that they are selling their home for the most amount of money as quickly and conveniently as possible. If you're thinking about selling or you just have any questions about what it's like to sell your home, feel free to call, text, or email me anytime. Thank you so much to everybody who has reached out. We so appreciate that. We're happy to help with selling your home. Right now, let's talk about some common strategies that real estate agents use all the time for selling homes. And there are some great tools here that can really get the most out of your home. So let's start with the first one, which is probably one of the more common strategies that a lot of people use, and that's listing the home below the market value to get as much exposure as possible. This kind of sounds like a bit of a risk to many people who are thinking about selling their home, but you have to realize that the goal here is to get as many people to come see the home. And ideally, you're getting multiple offers where you can then like pit buyers against each other to increase the asking price or the sold price for the home. So for example, if the home is worth 600,000 and there are more buyers in the 500s range than there are in the 600s range, it's better to list it a little bit below 600 to get all of those buyers to see the home. And very often people can say that their budget is 600, but they can usually push that a little bit if the home is amazing and has all of the things that they're looking for. So again, this is a super common strategy and you're trying to get as many people to come see the home. But there are certainly pros and cons to using this strategy. The pro is that you're going to get more people seeing the home because you're listing it in a price range where there are more people. The downside, however, is that it could kind of backfire if you're not using the strategy correctly. What I mean is if you sell the home or list the home on a weekend where maybe there isn't a lot of buyers that weekend. So maybe there is some terrible weather that weekend, or there is some kind of unforeseen like event going on in the area where people are not out shopping for homes. If you do it on one of those kind of weekends where you're not going to get a lot of eyes on the home or market exposure, it could backfire, obviously, if you're starting with a lower home price. So you have to make sure that you are doing this at a time where you are confident that there's going to be a lot of people home purchasing, home buying, and then you're also wanting to make sure that you are doing a lot of marketing of the home, paid advertising, video tours, all kinds of things to make sure you get as many eyes on the home and seeing that lower home price, again with the goal of multiple offer situations and getting a higher sold price. This next strategy is something that some realtors call power prices or power price range, and it's using a $25,000 rule when you're listing your home. So what I mean is that the difference of listing the home at 775 or 785 is a very small difference, and you're really not getting much benefit if you are increasing it from 775 to 785. The reason is because many times when people home search, and that's what this is all about, you're having to sell the home and you have to think about it from the perspective of a buyer. Many times they use a search criteria, especially like Zillow or realtor.com, Redfin. I think most of those use a search criteria where it's like $25,000 increments. So if they set their max budget in their search as 800,000, they're going to get everything from 800,000 and below. It doesn't make a difference if it's 775 or 785. Another way to look at that is that if you think the home is worth 800 and you list it a little bit lower, like 790, it doesn't really make a big difference. You're not going to necessarily get more eyes on the home because it's $10,000 less. You usually have to go down in $25,000 increments. So the big difference is between 800 and 775. Again, just coming down a little bit doesn't make a very big difference. So when you're pricing a home, you have to be mindful of that kind of search criteria of where people are finding the home, what platform they're using to find the home, and usually they search in $25,000 increments. Okay, strategy number 3 on our list of 5 home seller strategies is whether you are going to sell the home in the wintertime or the springtime. Very often people will say that one of these is better than the other, and that's not necessarily the case. You have to think of this in terms of supply and demand. In the springtime, especially here where I live, you have more sellers in the springtime, but you also have more buyers in the springtime. So the supply and demand is similar to the wintertime where you have less sellers, but you also have less buyers. So in the springtime, if you're selling your home, you're going to have more competition, more homes for sale around you. So it's going to be more competition, but more buyers. In the wintertime, you'll have less competition. There won't be as many homes around you for sale, but there still won't be very many buyers during the wintertime. So which one of these two times you use to sell your home kind of depends on how much you think your home could compete with the other homes in the area or in the neighborhood. If you think you have a home that could easily compete and is better than many of the homes in the area or the neighborhood, then the springtime is best. This is where you're going to have more buyers. But if you're selling a home that needs some work and can't necessarily compete with some of the other homes in the market, then the wintertime may be good, or maybe even the fall time right after the school season starts. This is typically where there is a big drop off in buyer demand, as most people are trying to move into their home by the start of the school year. So that time around October-ish is a really good one if you're wanting to sell a home that you don't think can compete with the others. You want to be careful though of November and December, obviously with Thanksgiving and Christmas. These can be difficult times to sell, a lot less buyers in the market during that time. But September and October could be good if you're wanting to sell your home and still have a bit of buyer demand during that time of year. And then strategy number 4 is the best time of the week to sell the home. Commonly, realtors will regularly list the home, especially around here where I live. Thursday and Friday is some of the best days of the week to list homes. And this is all because you want the weekend rush to come and see the home all at the same time. Remember that the more days that a home sits on the market, the worse it looks to potential buyers. Buyers can be kind of picky sometimes. Sometimes they would see a home that is brand new to the market and think, wow, this is a great deal. Or they could see a home that's been on the market for 14 days or 21 days and think, oh, wait, this home might have something wrong with it. So you want to be able to get as much market exposure, as many people to see the home as quickly as possible. So my favorite is to list the home on a Thursday, do lots of marketing, lots of open houses to get as many people to come to the home during the weekend and have multiple offers by Monday. This is ultimately the goal for anyone who is selling their home, and it's a great strategy that I regularly use to get max value for the home. And then this last strategy is sometimes it's better to list the home a bit higher than the actual market value of the home, especially if you live in an area where there aren't a lot of similar homes, or the appraiser might have a hard time coming up with an appraisal value because finding comps is going to be difficult. Sometimes you can get away with listing the home much higher than its value, and especially if there are more buyers in that higher price range, it's definitely a good idea to list the home in the price range where there are more people looking for a home. So using that strategy can oftentimes get you more money for the home, but you do have to be careful of an appraisal contingency in that case. Again, making sure that the home doesn't accrue a lot of days on market is super important, and there are 6 things that you can do to sell the home quickly. In fact, I made an entire video about those 6 things. You can check it out here. I'll see you in the next video.